Good morning, friends. Today, as we are going to begin with the workshop, and I'm very happy that I have so many friends joined to the workshop. We are going to talk about the Rishi Vashisht, the time from when Rishi Vashisht was there, that means the period when Ramji was there, and then we talk about Dr. Radha S. Radhakrishnan. He is considered as teacher of the nation. Now, to understand here is that Rishi Vashisht was teaching or guru to Ramji. That means if I talk about the importance of gurus in life, in everybody's life, like even when Ramji, Krishnaji, they took avatars, they also had to have gurus. Without the gurus, they were not what they actually became later in life. Hello, friends. So today a workshop, as you can see, suggests about talking about the role of guru in one's life, not forgetting that how Rishi Vashisht was instrumental in guiding Ramji, how Rishi Drone, Guru Drone was instrumental in guiding Arjun, the Kauravas, the Pandavas. So here, what are we trying to emphasize is that without a guru, it is impossible to reach your goal. Like I would like to quote here one very famous quote or a doha which says, Guru Govind dohu khade, kake lagu paye, balihari guru aapne, Govind diyo millai. Very beautifully it says that to see or to meet even the God, help of or the guidance of Guru is required. So now let's begin without further ado. Let's begin with trying to understand what Gita says, talking about Krishna ji, when Vishnu Bhagwan took avatar as Krishna, he also went to a rishi for his guidance, for his education. And the quote which is presented here, it says, superior is the sacrifice of knowledge to the sacrifice of material objects. So, true education is the highest offering. It transforms lives. This is very important to understand. It says it transforms lives. So, we are going to talk here about the Panchakosha. Panchakosha, which actually talks about 5 sheath or 5 layers. That is Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Anamaya Kosha, Vinamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. I'll talk about these in detail. So, 5 and what they actually mean. Anamaya Kosha relates to physical body. Pranamaya Kosha relates to energy body. Manomaya Kosha relates to mental body. And Vinamaya Kosha is about wisdom body. Anandamaya Kosha is bliss body. So let's understand each. If I talk about, say, the first one, that is here. See, Anandamaya Kosha, physical sheath. The outer layer relates to the physical body, where it is important for the students to get nutrition, proper nutrition, which in the school can take place with the help of yoga, games, ensuring they get nutritious meal. One of the step which I would like to mention here that CBSE has taken, it is now talking about having a sugar board, which is going to stop children from eating all the junk foods. They should check on the labels how much sugar does it carry, and then they have to count and they have to stop themselves. So here how it can be taken care with the help of grounding practices, with the help of here talking about the exercise. Second is about the pranamaya kosha, the energy sheath, which actually encourages the energy regulation. How it can be done? It can be done with the help of the meditation, breathing regulation, because nowadays because of the changing style, the sleep patterns, everything is actually changing. So we as a teacher, as an educator, and in the school, we have to ensure that children are having pollution free environment so that their body and mind is properly healed and it grows. Talking about the Manomaya Kosha, that is the mental health. Here, the thoughts, that is the thought process, the emotion, the sensory experiences which the child is having need to be honed and cared. So it can be done with the help of storytelling, and I'll be talking about one of the guests here in a minute. So please wait for a while. And here children should be allowed to ask question. They should be felt that they are being heard and what they say is having value. So I'll not go for much, and I'll invite Archana Malhotra ma'am. She is a blogger. She is a trainer. She has experience of more than 20 years as an English teacher. And she would further elaborate about how emotional connect with the students is important. So I will just now call ma'am, invite ma'am for her insights. Yes, ma'am, please, you can go ahead.
Good morning, Veena ma'am, and good morning, everybody. Ma'am, there's a slight mistake. I'm Archana Mathur, not Archana Malhotra.
Okay.
So my introduction, thank you so much. But
okay, I have written Malhotra.
many a times people they also write Matthew, Archana Matthews. I have to tell them. Okay, that really doesn't matter because I'll stay what I am. So thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me the privilege of being a panelist in today's meeting. It's an honor to be here and to share, my viewpoint with like-minded educators. So thank you. And today you've come up with a very apt topic, why is or how is emotional connect with students very important in the classroom? So, frankly speaking, you all must have heard recently that our own students here in India, where we used to consider our gurus to be like demigods, children are physically harming their own teachers and even principals now. Just about 2 months back, there was a case where a principal told a student to get a haircut, and this boy went and stabbed the principal. So we blame, we are very good at playing the blame game. But do we realize why is this happening? We are Indians with a very, very rich cultural and emotional background. For us, our family, our friends, our gurus were very highly placed, right? I'm sure everybody agree. So now what exactly has happened? Where have we gone wrong? Why are these kinds of activities taking place where children are becoming so violent? So there has to be a reason. So I'll try and explore these reasons and try to put forward my viewpoints as far as this particular topic is concerned. So I think we are all educators over here. Now, when we talk of education, what exactly are we looking at? Because whenever we do something, there has to be a reason, there has to be something, an aim, a motive to do something. So today, unfortunately, teaching has become, it's not rote. We involve students into it, but it has become totally academic. We are not, as we profess, every school says we promote holistic education. But are we really doing it? Or is it a hoax? That are the schools really trying to promote holistic education? Are we really giving or we are producing individuals who are not just academically brilliant, but they are good human beings as well? I'm sorry, the answer would be no. Children have become so impersonal, they become so apathetic, they don't think about anybody else's feelings or how is their action going to affect the other person. So what is the root cause? I guess there is some flaw in our education system. We are not teaching them life skills. Okay, I'll take a very common example. Why do we say that we like the food which is cooked by our mothers? We go to other places, but we always say that whatever my mother made, however simple that dish was, but it tasted very good. I still can't forget the taste of the dal chawal which my nani ji used to make. Why? Because she used to put her love, her entire feelings would go into that dish that she was making or what my mother made for us. So, but when you go to a restaurant, it could be, you know, they serve you dishes which have a lot of masalas and ghee and butter and everything. But still, it doesn't taste the way your homemade food, which your mother has made so lovingly for you, it tastes. The same thing is applicable to education. We teach our students. In fact, I feel today teachers are very highly educated. They are very tech savvy also. But when I was a student and the way my teachers used to teach me, I find a sea difference. The way they taught and the way today we teach. Today it's all theoretical. They do not add any personal touch to it. It's like this much of syllabus is to be done, so they just cover that. But how it is to be done, it's all theoretical. I'll just give you an example. Even science experiments are not shown to children. They are just told verbally or they are told to read from the textbook. Now, if a child doesn't see, he doesn't feel or she doesn't smell, like our teacher made H2S for us, hydrogen sulfide, because normally teachers say that the hydrogen sulfides, it smells like rotten eggs. But have we made our children smell that kind of odor? No, our teacher did it. He produced H2S in some way and he made us smell. He says, you can smell it. Is it good? Is it pleasant? He said, no, sir. He says, this is the smell of a rotten egg. And this is H2S. Everything he would do for us, everything he showed us. So we now remember, and there was some connection. There was always a very personal kind of connect between our teachers, my geography teacher, English, Hindi, science, maths, all teachers. They were personally involved in our progress. Today, unfortunately, I see this thing very badly missing. Our teachers are very good. They are very tech savvy, but they do not touch the life of a child. If a child is not doing well, if a child is not able to progress in that particular subject, the common declaration is that the child is not fit for it. But have we ever tried to introspect ourselves, that have we made that kind of connect with the child and tried to understand what is his problem or her problem? There was a girl in my class, I think that was the year 1992. She came from a very good family. She would study hard, but she never would get marks. When she wrote her answers, they were not good. They were not up to the mark. So somehow it just struck me. I was pretty young at that time, but I still tried to find out. I spoke to her friends. I said, why is she not performing? She's such a good girl. Why is she not able to get good marks? So they told me that her father has got married for a second time, and her stepmother ill treats her. She's made to do all the housework. She's cleaning utensils. She's cooking. Imagine an eighth class student. I was teaching as a class teacher of class 8 at that time. And this poor girl could not concentrate. She had no time to study. So how would she perform? Then I took her under my wings and I started giving her a lot of affection. I tried to understand. Then I called her father. I told him, I said, sir, please, you've got married, fine. You needed a lady in the house to take care of your household, but then don't neglect your own daughter. So there was a bit of change which did take place. So this kind of emotional connect, this kind of understanding of the child, that if he or she is not delivering the goods, we as teachers must realize and must try to find a solution to this problem. So if I talk of this emotional connect, why is it essential? Firstly, it creates a very safe learning environment. Here, the children feel valued, they feel understood, and they are more willing to take risks. They are willing to go out of their comfort zone to get or to derive what the teacher is looking at. So that is the first advantage. Second, the second advantage of this emotional connect is that it addresses this growing emotional challenge. We all know that teenage is a very difficult phase. Children are not able to understand exactly where they stand, because sometimes we tell them इतने बड़े हो गए हो तुम्हें ये भी समझ नहीं आता, and sometimes we only tell them अभी तुम बहुत छोटे हो इस काम के लिए. So they are confused कि भाई where exactly do we stand, हम बड़े हैं कि छोटे हैं, हमें ये तो बताइए, clarify तो कीजिए. So this is something that we need to address. We have to categorically tell them that this is what you're supposed to do at this particular age, and this is what you're not supposed to do. And don't worry, everybody has to go through this phase. We have also faced it when we were your age. So this is something very natural to happen. You will feel lost. You will feel these kinds of, emotional challenges. So when the child understands that this is something very normal, it happens to everyone, then he will not feel lost, or she will not feel lost. They will consider it to be an indispensable part of their growth time. Third importance is that it ensures holistic development, as I already said, because we are not trying to make robots. When we teach our children, we are not trying to produce, computers who know a lot of things, who can do it as quickly as possible with the blink of the eye. We want to have human beings who are capable of multitasking, who are capable of understanding what they are trying to do, what are their motives, their ultimate motives, and also social beings. Today, this part of our lives is missing. We have neighbors whom we do not know. Earlier, I'm sure, ma'am, you also would remember कि पहले होता था कि एक गांव के बच्चे भाई बहन कहलाते थे.
Very
तो
correct.
सारे आपके भैया होते थे, सारी आपकी बहनें होती थी, और वो आपको वैसे ही सपोर्ट करते थे जैसे कि योर फैमिली वुड डू इट. आज तो आप अपने नेक्स्ट डोर नेबर को ही नहीं जानते. तो ये इमोशनल कनेक्ट कहाँ खो गया? इसके लिए लाइक हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दिस? वी who got so intertwined with the worldly kind of wealth and knowledge or whatever. Our ambitions are growing like anything. They keep doubling. So the essential human needs and necessities, the social welfare, social meetings. Abhi social platform is Instagram, it is WhatsApp. Everybody just wishes, एक मैसेज आता है, हम उसको बिना पढ़े फॉरवर्ड कर देते हैं. Remember when we were kids, used to handwrite cards, personal cards. Respected uncle, auntie, then children, dear so and then apna daddy ka naam, hamara naam likhna. Today, that personal touch is completely missing. So what we need to do is, we should not just think about marks. It is about shaping a complete character, to nurture curiosity amongst our children, and above all, building confidence in their abilities and also what they are going to do for the society as a whole. So if a teacher encourages her students or his students with a kind word, or maybe just a smile, you smile at your students, they feel so happy about it. Isme to aapka kuch nahi ja raha. But there are some teachers who keep a very solid kind of a face, no emotions. They won't even smile. क्या जाता है, एक स्माइल दे दो ना. If the child wishes you good morning, just smile back and say good morning, beta. There's no harm in doing so. So finally, I won't take too much time. In this age where we give so much of importance to artificial intelligence, to automation, online learning, I feel it's my personal belief that today what is irreplaceable is human touch. A baby also forgets to cry the moment his or her mother puts her hand on the baby. Mother's touch. It is such a famous kind of phrase that we've heard. So, if a mother's touch is so magical, a teacher's affection is equally magical. We have to try to relate with our students in a very, very personal manner. We must deal with them with compassion, patience, and just your emotional presence is good enough for them. They value you as a teacher. But if you keep yourself aloof, if you do not make a connect with them, they will not be able to study the way they should. The first few days of a new teacher in a class should not be to teach. The first few days should be spent on creating a personal relationship with the students. And I bet anybody that from the 6th day or from the 7th day, they're going to eat out from your hands. They start loving you. They start admiring you. They adore you for what you are. Not just as a teacher, but for the good human being that you've been to them. Forgive their mistakes. Children will make mistakes. We make mistakes even now at this age. So why not kids? So let's not become very rude with them, or we should not call them names. Just make them understand, okay, this once it's been a mistake. Now I'm sure you're not going to repeat it. So they'll like it. They'll become your slaves emotionally. They'll become so dependent on you. So this emotional connect is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And without this emotional connect with our students, I'm very sure, in fact, we can all see, we can feel it, that education is becoming very mechanical. It's not like what it used to be. Like, ma'am, you've given a very apt heading or title to this, from the times of Lord Vashisht or Guru Vashisht to Dr. Radhakrishnan. There has been a lot of change which has happened, but one thing that has been there and should continue to be there is the emotional connection between a teacher and a student, irrespective of how many students you have in your class. So once that is established, I'm sure learning is going to become very, very meaningful, joyful, and transformative. And as an educator, I think we must commit ourselves not just to teach, but to connect, because in this connection lies the true power of education. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. So very nicely being put up, talking about the care, the personal touch. Because I have seen as a teacher, many times the parents do come and tell us, मैम आप कहिए ना, आपकी सुनेगा, है ना. कई बार आते हैं पेरेंट्स, कहते हैं नहीं आपको पूरा फ्रीडम है, आप कुछ भी करिए मैम, बट आप ही समझाइए. दिन भर फोन हाथ में रहता है और वो आप बोलेंगे ना तो वो सुनेगा. Like these kind of things coming up from the parents, you really feel elated कि okay, what value, what place the gurus have in the life of a child. And when we say कि दिन भर फोन पे लगा रहता है, my point is कि फोन एक्चुअली बच्चे ने तो इन्वेंट करा नहीं, right? This phone has been invented by us and given to them. So that means it is us only who is going to tell them how to use it. The proper usage of the technology has to be actually explained to the kids by the teachers, by the parents. So that is what. So coming to the next now, let's take up, like talking about the fourth sheath, that is very important to understand. It talks about, the fourth sheath is talking about the Vinamaya Kosha, which is wisdom sheath. And it is talking about the intellect, it is about the inner guidance, and it is also about developing a kind of critical thinking and ethical reasoning, the values amongst the student. So this also is going to help them in ability to solve problems. So that is why it's very important that we inculcate certain activities which are going to help them do it. It can be done with the help of, say, debates, etc. When they are into sitting and discussing amongst themselves, they can do it. Fifth is talking about the Anandamaya Kosha, that is bliss sheath, or where this innermost layer of joy or peace comes to them. It can be with the help of like art, music, nature walks, and sometimes with the silence also. Practicing silence also is very important to them. So now coming to like if I'm talking about or if education system is talking about this five sheath, why actually we are talking about? How does it align with the NCF and NEP? Because now as we keep on actually talking about that this is going to help in the holistic development and we are going to have better future citizens. So that is why it's very important that whatever has come up in the national education policy and then it has been very elaborately explained in NCF 2023, we need to reach each and every page as an educator and explain the things to the children. And the schools or the educational institutes have to ensure that it is being implemented in a proper way. So I would like to quote here, this man is made by his belief, as he believes, so he is. This has been picked up from Gita only. So, as rightly being put up, talking about the power of education, man is made by his belief. As he believes, so he is. So, talking about like when as a guru, it's very important. We play a very important role in giving direction to the children, to our student. So, I'll here just stop for a while and I'll call again Archana ma'am to further give her inputs or if she can mention some life incident which actually proves that whatever we have discussed here is going in a right direction. So, yes, ma'am, please, you can just give your experiences here.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for having me again. Because see, we learn from our teachers. So since my teachers were very, very personal, they were personally connected with us and they wanted us to grow. And we were rarely ever, I should say, scolded or punished because in our times also, our teachers felt that rewards are much better than punishment. So our relationship with them was just too good. I mean, it's not that we were chatting with them or we were sitting hand in hand with them. No, they maintained their distance, but they also made us understand that we were important to them. So much so, ma'am, you won't believe it. In 2015, about 10 years ago, the same month, October, which is just about to come, we had a reunion in Dehradun. I belong to CJM Dehradun. And about 50 girls from now no more girls, ladies from my batch, we all assembled together. And as luck would have it, the girls who stay there, our friends who stay there, they found 7 of our teachers who had taught us in school at that time, 40 years ago. Okay. So there was one who taught me geography in class 5.
Okay.
There was another one who taught me maths in class 7. And other teachers had taught me from 9th onwards up to 12th. My class teacher for 12th, Mrs. Gill, she was also there.
Okay.
And you won't believe it, the kind of, I don't know, I mean, I can't express that feeling. We were so happy to see them. And they were also very happy. They were related that after 4 decades also, their students are giving them so much of respect and reverence. They were so happy. So I have always believed in this kind of personal bonding with students. So when I became a teacher, I was teaching in one of the schools in Jodhpur. That is about 14 years ago, 2012. Now, there was one particular child in my class. I can never forget him, Abhishek Singh. He would always stand first in the class, but he was very naughty and very disobedient. He would just not listen. I mean, he's very good at studies, but when it came to behavior, he was very naughty, not disrespectful. I will not say he was disrespectful, but he was happy go lucky. वो अपने में खुश रहता था. And one fine day when 11th was to like move into 12th, and the 12th was supposed to have their board exams, we all have their farewell party. So since I was the class teacher of 11th, my class with Abhishek, we were all preparing for this party. And I don't know, something went wrong. So they could not make a playlist. Now, at that time, I was just not tech savvy. I didn't even know what is the playlist. So I was worried how will the music be played, and also I was sitting in a very contemplative mood. Maybe I was looking sad. So this boy, he just walks up to me, says, "Ma'am, what's the problem?" I said, Beta, I don't know how is it going to happen. And we are not able to provide for music because they have to do ramp walk and a lot of dances need to be performed. So how will we do it if there's no music? So he looked at me for just a second. He said, Ma'am, don't worry. Everything will be fine. I'll do it. I'll do it. And he just walked off. Ma'am, the way he prepared that playlist and the way the whole program was conducted was out of the world. There was no problem in between, no sound broke, nothing happened. And then I realized sometimes we misjudge our students. He
Right.
respected me. He used to be naughty, fine, but he knew that I have a lot of emotions and the feelings for my students. So he did not let me down. I was so proud of him. I don't know where is he now. Girls still keep connected, the girls in that class are still messaging. Boys are a little reticent, so they don't come up with their feelings so quickly. But a lot of other students also, a few months back, I got a message on LinkedIn, and this girl was so happy, Swati Singh. She was my student in Delhi. She says, मैम आपको पता नहीं मैं आपको कब से ढूंढ रही हूँ और आप मेरे को
Okay.
आज 20 साल की तपस्या के बाद मिले हैं. And it was
Yes,
such an
so sweet.
emotional message that she wrote to me. So, this is, I guess, much bigger and much more precious than all the gold and diamonds in the
Right.
world. A student's feelings for you as a teacher, and I'm sure most of you would have enjoyed it because a lot of students are very, very emotional about their teachers. My son would tell me, "मेरी मैम सही बताती है आपको
हाँ
ठीक से
बिल्कुल
नहीं आता."
बिल्कुल they're like the incidents will go endless when we tell like similar
Yes.
thing happened. I remember I was like I when this YouTube and all started, and I was like one child just came to me, ma'am, you're so good in geography, why don't you go public and have a YouTube channel and all. I said, beta, I wish to, I want to, but then I'm not able to create YouTube channel, and I don't know how to do it. You won't believe he was there. He took my phone from my hand and he said कि मैम अभी 2 मिनट लगते हैं and I will just
Yes.
create one for you. And he did that. Okay, but point was कि even then after like channel was created 2016, but then other things were also had to be like I had to update myself. So it took me such a long time to actually go public and be on YouTube. But we are here on YouTube. But we are here. Towards the last slide, you can just share, subscribe, and link to the channel through the comments which you post. And this is going to help us further enhance, improve our content in further upcoming workshops. Dear friends, I would like to thank your Archana ma'am from my core of heart that she could find time and be here with us and give us her insights, her experiences, which is further going to help our educators improve themselves. Okay, so it was nice having everybody on the platform, and we discussed, you've heard it. You can just put your comments on my channel. Please share and subscribe. Thank you so much.